Tيéri, you started your career
Hello.
here in Monaco as a player. Hello. Did it feel the natural step to start your managerial career here as well? And you've worked under some great managers, the likes of Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola. What will you take from working under them, and how will they influence your style of management?
Very good question. Yeah, I said it goes without saying that for me, when the offer came, it was quite logical. My heart talked. Obviously the connection I have with one club in London, but this is where I started. This club always and will always have a big place in my heart. That goes without saying. So to be able to come here and start here again, it's a dream come true. I won't lie. A lot of work to do, as you can imagine, but I'm more than happy to be here. And now talking about the managers that I had, I learned with a lot of them, every single one of them, whether they challenged me, whether sometimes they were doing the wrong stuff. That's where you learn the most, when things are not going well. But if I talked about, obviously, Arsene unlocked a lot of stuff in my mind, made me understand what it was to be a professional, what it was to perform. I will never forget that. You guys know the relationship that I have with him, so it goes without saying that obviously I will always carry some of the stuff that he was doing. Obviously, as I said, and as I always say, you learn from people, that they inspire you, you're going to learn. But on the other side, you need to also put your own little mix in it. And if you go into, Pep for me is the reference. For me, I'm not saying for everyone, it's not right or wrong, that's the reference for me. I relearned how to play the game when I went to Barcelona under him. So it goes without saying that with Pep you can talk about the game. I think he will not even go to sleep and still talk about the game, and you will fall asleep and he's still talking. So you guys know some of the invention that he had in the game. He's way ahead of the game. I saw it closely. And then also that you guys don't know, the French people will tell you, a lot of people didn't inspire me in France, and especially the Nantes school. I talk about Arribas, I will talk about Suedo, I'll talk about Denwex. You will have to do your research on that. But those people breathe football, understand football, and from afar, I was always an admirer of the Nantes team that won the league with, I think it was 2 or 13 players from the academy. The rest were from National 1 back in the days. I don't know how they call it now. They change the name all the time. But those people inspired me too, because that one-touch football, playing attractive football, they were already ahead of the game. They invented transition, Nantes, for me, in France. They were so quick in transition that it was so difficult to defend against them. I played against that team, by the way. We didn't lose, by the way, also, just to put it there. But no, all those guys inspired me. But the obvious one that obviously you will know, and don't put on the side, I got educated also before coming here to prepare me to come here in an academy. I went to a pre-academy called Clairefontaine. And I will never have been the player that I've been without Clairefontaine. And obviously, as you know, coming here, so Claude Dussault, Francisco Filio, they helped me a lot to understand the game. Christian Damiano, André Merel. I didn't have André Merel, but still he was in and around the building. But what happened at Clairefontaine is that they trigger your brain. That's what they do. They make you understand the game in a different way. Instead of making you bigger, faster, they develop your brain and they try to challenge your brain, which I think is a very important point in football. And also, they make you understand that you need to enjoy playing. That's it for me.
Hi, Tiyéri. Apologies if you've already answered elements of this question already. But
your French is not that great.
No, not so good. Of course, we remember you as one of the world's greatest players, but what does it take to become one of the greatest managers? And also, do you know what kind of manager you will be, or is it something that you learn over time?
I actually answered, but I'll do it again.
Thank you. Merci.
You're gonna have to maybe ask your question, because I'm thinking already about the last one. No, I think you need to be able to be flexible. Sometimes the opposition also give you something that you need to respond to. You need to see it. You might change something out of time. You might not change something out of time. I think you need to have some concepts that are clear, but within the concept that you have, you need to be flexible to a situation. It's not only you on the field, you're playing against a team, and ultimately they might cause you trouble. You might not have the ball. You might have to defend low. You might have to go and press. You might have to have playing 4 off the ball, playing 3 on the ball in the same game. I don't know. I'm not telling you how I'm going to play, but I'm telling you that you need to be flexible. But the concepts of the team will always be the same. And for me, what's important also is patience is key. You know, we live in a generation where when I grew up, you had to make the first step to the senior players. You had to make the first step to the coach. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know even how to phrase that one, you have to go to the new generation. You have to understand their codes. You know, the way they come sometime in training, it's not, if I come like that in training, the way maybe the walk that they have, or the way the little lean that they have, my coach will have sent me back straight away in the dressing room. But right now, we're living in a new world where the older generation now have to go to the young generation. You have to step to them. You have to communicate. Sometimes you have to laugh. Sometimes you have to be hard. And sometimes you have to let them be. The trick is, when do you have to do that? But as long as the concepts are clear and they understand it, and by the way, they can animate it, it also helps, then hopefully you can go a long way. But as you all know, results matters. But results only happen if results for me are just the consequence of what happens before. You know, when we all know that we're here to win, right? But I don't like to mention the word winning. That should come if you work well.
Tiyeri, you had so much success as a player. How would you measure success here at Monaco as a manager? And can you allow yourself to plan long term? Could we see you one day managing in the Premier League?
To be honest with you, again, long term, it seems really far away when I know the situation that we are here and what we need to do. So it's something that I cannot talk about right now. And so success, how do you define success? It's difficult. Some managers are if you are the big club, you know, sometimes they judge you only if you don't win the Champions League, which is kind of crazy, because winning the league and the cup doesn't matter anymore. Yes, it does matter. But for some people, it's not success. For some people, winning the league is a success. For some people, is making players better is success. How many players through you went in a national team? How many debuts did you give? How many players improve with you? It depends on the value success, and most of the time you guys do value success. So it depends what you like to see. But one thing that's for sure, when you win, normally you're successful. Where it's becoming kind of funny in a way, is that now winning the league, winning the cup, and winning the League Cup is not okay, and you just need to win the Champions League now. Some managers are only judged on winning the Champions League, which I think it's funny in a way. So for me, a coach is supposed to make people better, first and foremost. First, the player. Second, the player. Third, the player. That's the most important thing. Enjoy the game. We're going to have some concept with that. Then after, like I said to you, you win is the consequence of what you do. But improving players already, for me, is a success. Then obviously you have different type of success.